this is chapter 8, verse 9.
Okay, give me 1 second. So, everybody go ahead and send the text out. We are live here. I'm sorry. Yeah. We're live. We're live. We're online. Y'all send the text out. See if anybody has any questions online. We're going to go ahead and open that up before we get into our class. So we're going to go ahead and send the text out. Throw it up on your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
Hashtag.
Right. So, if any of you brothers and sisters that are online, you guys have any questions, now's the time before we go ahead and get into our class. And we're kind of going through some questions right now in Samuel's. What chapter we're at?
I'm in 8, verse 9 right now.
1 Samuel's?
Yes, sir.
8 and 9. Okay, so that's what we're going through right now. We're going through 1 Samuel's, the 8th chapter and the 9th verse, and we're just answering this brother's questions in class. And we're going to open it up for you brothers and sisters online. You know who we are. We're the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. And if you're in the Houston area, you can come join us. We have classes Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 10, Fridays from 9 to 12, and Sabbath morning classes from 12 to 2, 3, it can go. So you're welcome to join us. And we street speak. You brothers and sisters, brothers that want to come join the Hebrew Academy, you can join us for class. You know, you want to be here, that Sabbath morning class. That's when we do the reading, and that's when we go through a lot of questions, okay? So while we wait, go ahead and,
8, verse 9.
Yeah.
1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 9. Now therefore hearken unto their voice, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king that shall reign over them. And like as you read on, he started going into the characteristics of the king that was going to reign over them.
Okay.
My question was that just for Saul, or was that going to be for?
That was going to be for Israel. That was going to be for Israel. Like, he was trying to tell them, listen, you want a king? Okay, well, this was what's going to happen. You're going to give your daughters, your money, because you guys wanted to be stubborn, and you want a king so bad, you're going to lose everything to this king. That was the promise he was making, right? And that's, where at?
That was 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 9.
1 Samuel 8, verse 9. Okay. So does anybody have any other questions? We'll open it up for you brothers and sisters online and give y'all a second to go ahead and log in. Get comfy. Does anybody else in here?
I do.
Yes. Sis.
I invited Sonia, and I was just wondering if you could maybe give us some background on who we are, what we're about. I've given her some, I've talked to her a little bit at work and everything. But when I was coming before y'all would introduce the new people as to who we are and everything.
Right.
She's very interested in our history and who we are as a people.
Oh, and it says you're like basically new to the Bible, or you're just new to finding out the history of the Israelites? Okay. All right. Well, we'll give you a little basics on that. And we also online, we're gonna give you a few shows. All right, because we got our YouTube channel is stuffed. It's real nice and stuffed up with a lot of the basics. So, but the Hebrew Israelites, we don't consider ourselves a religious organization, right? We consider ourselves people that are coming back to our true nationality. We don't believe that the Bible has anything to do with religion. That religion is man-made. And that religion has nothing to do with the Bible. And we believe that based off of, go to Joshua 1 and 8 and Baruch 4 verse 1 real quick. So we got a new sister in class. She's just trying to figure out about the Israelites and So I'm just going to give a little rundown of that real quick, and then we'll go into any other questions. So if y'all have any questions, just go on, do your texting. You know, you can go on YouTube. You can go on YouTube to text. Okay, so read that, Joshua 1, verse 8.
Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8.
Yeah.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth.
Right, right. So the Bible is a book of laws, statutes, and commandments. Zion, do me a favor. Step to this side so I can at least, yeah, that way I can see her. Let me see if she has any other questions. So the Bible is a book of laws, statutes, and commandments. It's a book of laws that the Most High gave us. It didn't say, and you can nowhere find in the Bible that where it says to be a Baptist, a Pentecost, Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness. It doesn't say that nowhere in the Bible. So this is why the Hebrew Israelites don't believe on that. We don't believe that we're a religion. So read that again.
Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth.
And that's what we were supposed to keep. The Bible is a book of law, statutes, and commandments. Now, if you read that scripture and you think of religion, those are the things that religions have taken us away from. It's taken us away from the laws of the Most High, because the religions teach you, through lack of understanding certain scriptures, they say it's okay to eat the pork, shrimp, crab, lobsters. I'm going to celebrate these holidays in America. I'm going to actually lift up America in all their customs. So, but as you go through the Bible still continually tells us, from now to the future, keep the laws. From when Christ comes back, you're going to keep the laws. So the laws were never going to be done away with. So this is what we're getting better at. Now, do we have grace? Yes. We have the grace where we fall short in keeping the laws and trying to be right. But you hear Creflo Dollar, he'll say, you don't have to keep the Ten Commandments. Yeah, I mean, that's wicked. That's straight up evil. Because now you're saying you can commit adultery, you can murder, you can kill, you can steal, right? And those are all the things that the Spirit constantly taught us, right? So, read on.
But thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
So we were supposed to meditate in these laws day and night. We were supposed to put these laws in the forefront of our mind and constantly think on them. Constantly keep these laws in our mind. Go ahead.
That thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein.
See? So this is what the warning that the Most High gave to Moses, to Joshua, to all the children of Israel. And Christ came back in the New Testament and furthered that. He gave understanding about the laws, but he never did away with them. So read that, Baruch 4, verse 1. This is in the Apocrypha. Do you know about the Apocrypha, sis? Okay. Well, the Apocrypha is not the book of Enoch, is not the book of Jasher. Okay, the Apocrypha is actually, when the Bible was translated, it tells you that the Apocrypha was part of the Bible. Okay, so somebody get that for her. And this is the white man telling you this right here. This is the white man telling you this. Because when King James got the Bible translated, okay, because we're going to find out he didn't write the Bible, right?
Right.
That's another misconception people just throw out. King James wrote the Bible. He didn't write the Bible, okay? So we're going to prove that. And we go to this Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
This is the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, page 121. And this is under Bible King James Version.
Go ahead.
So this is the second paragraph. Without delay, King James nominated 54 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day.
Right, so he was a king, man. He didn't go himself translate any books. He was a king. He had servants, so he got scholars to do that. And these scholars were the best of their time. Go ahead.
Only 47 actually took part in the work.
Right, go ahead.
Which did not begin until 1607.
Right.
They were divided into 6 groups. Mm-hmm. 3 for the Old Testament, 2 for the New, and 1 for the Apocrypha.
You see that? 1 for the book of Enoch?
1 for the Apocrypha.
The book of Jasher.
The Apocrypha.
Right, it's not in there. The reason I'm saying that is because you have people try to relate it as that, but this has nothing to do with that. Okay, these were actual scrolls that were written by the prophets that they took out. Apocrypha means hidden books, and they took these books out because they felt a lot of things weren't canon. Whether it was the Council of Nicaea or whether the Roman Catholic Church. But when you go into the Apocrypha, you find out it links up right with the Bible. Okay, so that's the only reason why we use it. Because when the Bible was originally there, what did it say was there with it? The Apocrypha. When the scrolls were there, the Apocrypha was there. Okay, so it was part of the Bible. Okay, so we're not reading out any foreign book. That's why I'm going and giving you that understanding. Okay, all right, so read that, Baruch 4, verse 1.
This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
This is the book of the commandments of God.
Right.
And the law that endures forever.
Same thing is said in Joshua. Same thing, we can go through the whole Bible and show you about the laws, right? You can go to Psalms 147, 19 and 20 while we're reading out. Go ahead.
All they that keep it shall come to life.
Right, so this is what the point was. That if we come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, we will come to life. Religions have taken us away from these things. They have told you can go to church and still wear the mini skirt. So now, no standard. You're going to church, but you're looking like you're going to the club. Right? So what's the difference? Nothing. And that's the point of religion, is to not make you feel uncomfortable. To not make you feel like it's so hard. But it is hard. The scriptures tell us, man, the Bible, Christ said it. He said, the kingdom is like a treasure hid in a field. Right? That when you find this treasure, you go and sell everything you have to get that treasure. That means it's rare. This truth is rare. The Bible's rare for people to understand it. So the Bible ain't meant for everybody to like it. And for you to come and sit here and like everything you hear. Why? Because you got so many demons on you. You got so many spirits on you that it's going to be hard for you to shake these demons. But only through the Spirit you'll be able to do that. And that's what religion has. They have not gotten that in their head. You see that? So these laws were going to lead us to the Spirit. See, but first we have to go through these basic steps. Go ahead.
But such as leave it shall die.
Right. See, and that's what happened. We died. And how did we die? We died as a nation. We died spiritually in all aspects of life. You remember the dry bones, right? You remember the story of the dry bones in Ezekiel 37? The dry bones is us. We're the ones dried up for thirst, hungry, yearning, crying, and walking around and spinning in circles and have nothing to latch onto. That's why we're in every religion. That's why the black man, the Mexican man, we're into everything on the earth. You're a Baptist one day, you're a Pentecostal one day, you're an Israelite one day. Why? Because you came in with a religion mind, and then you stood with that religious mind. So we believe that we're people coming back to the laws and commandments. Okay? We're a nation. It don't got nothing to do with religion. So read that, Psalms 147, 19 and 20.
Psalms chapter 147 and verse 19.
And I know you already got Psalm 78 and 5, because that goes right along with this. You guys are like gunslingers, man. You guys are ninjas. So read that Psalms 147. Psalms 147, 19, verse 20.
Psalm chapter 147 and verse 19.
Uh-huh.
He showed his word unto Jacob.
Right.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Right. You see that? This is what the Most High said. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto who?
Unto Israel.
So talking about all the nation. The 12 tribes of Israel, which we got a little, if you wanted a good understanding of who the children of Israel are today, you got these people right here, the so-called Negroes, West Indians, Haitians, Dominicans, Guatemalans, Guatemala to Panama, the people that call themselves Puerto Rican, Cubans, North American Indians, the Seminole Indians, the people from Argentina to Chile, Colombia to Uruguay, and Mexicans. These are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites. And yes, we've been scattered through many other countries too. But if you wanted to kind of get an idea of who they are, they would be from these descent, what you call today. Today, okay? But biblically, these are biblical names, which you know as the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Okay, so read that.
Con. This is Psalm chapter 78, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel.
So these laws weren't done away with. So we believe we're people coming back to the laws of God. Okay? Now let's go to the New Testament. Go to Matthew 10. Because a lot of people say, well, that was the Old Testament, right? It doesn't that what religion teach us, sis? What's your name, sis? Tanya. That's what, and I'm sure you came from a religious background, right? But isn't that what they say? That was the Old Testament. Okay, all right. Well, let's go to the New Testament, right? So go to Matthew 10, verse 5 and 6.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
These 12 Jesus sent forth.
So Christ, from the 10th verse to the 4th verse, he gathers his 12 apostles. And he says, these 12 that he sent forth, what specific commandment did Christ give them?
And commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Right. Gentile is talking about who?
The other nations.
Anybody outside of the children of Israel. They were known as the nations. So look at what he says here. This is Jesus Christ talking. What does he say? Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 10 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying,
Go ahead.
go not into the way of the Gentiles.
He said they'll go to the Gentiles. Go ahead.
And into any city of Samaritans enter ye not.
Because the land of Samaria was at that time occupied by Ethiopians. Okay? One time it was occupied by the tribe of Ephraim, but then the Ethiopians came in and they occupied that land. Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right. You see that? Go to the Baptists.
The lost sheep of the house of Israel.
The Pentecostal.
The house of Israel.
7-day disadvantage.
The house of
The
Israel.
Muslims.
The house of Israel.
The Moors.
Israel.
5%ers.
Israel.
No. He didn't call us none of those names. And yes, we are all of those now, but he's not looking for you in this religion mind state. He's looking for the children of Israel. That's what we're coming back to. We're coming back to who we are nationality-wise. Okay? And you see that if Christ said go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, why isn't this being taught? Why isn't that part being taught? Just what Jesus said, right? Right? If you got a red letter Bible, Jesus said it, right? Okay. So why are people not being taught that? Huh? Think about it. Why not? Why? Because it's empowering the black man. They got to keep religion thinking it's not about nation.
Right.
It's not about that. Everybody is accepted. And that's fine. But guess what? Guess who's accepted above all nations?
Israel.
The children of Israel. That's why Christ said, go to Israel. Why he didn't just say, well, we know he died, but he died and resurrected. He said, now go to all nations. Right? Once again, we're going to find out because all the children of Israel were scattered amongst all nations. Okay? But why, if it was God so loved the world, think about it. Isn't it contradictory? God so loved the world, but go to the children of Israel. Why he just didn't say, go to all the world? That's confusion, right? But see, now we got to understand what John 3:16 was talking about. Christ ain't contradicted himself. We just don't understand the Bible.
Right.
Our people don't understand what they're reading. He's not contradicting himself. He literally said, don't go to the other nations, go to the children of Israel. There's no deep understanding that's needed. Go to the children of Israel, right? Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go ahead.
And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
You see? Why? Because the kingdom of heaven was for those children of Israel. You understand? They were for those children of Israel. Go to Acts. I just asked for something.
Still on the street?
No, what did I just ask for?
You asked for Psalm 78 and 5.
No, no, I just asked for something. Go to Acts 2. I just asked, I said something and I thought y'all were going to get it. I just quoted something. Go to Acts 2 verse, what is it, 2 verse 5? Will that begin at this time or is it 8? Let me see here. Acts 2. Let me show you what the apostles told Christ. Check this out. Yeah. It's Acts 2. Right? Or is it 1? It might be 1.
Oh, it's Acts chapter 1, verse 6.
1 verse 6. Yeah, there you go. Acts 1 verse 6.
Acts chapter 1, verse 6.
Uh-huh.
When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying,
Now, if you know your Bible, what happened now is Christ died, resurrected, then he revealed himself to the apostles. Okay? And this is what the apostles asked him, right? Knowing Jesus, being around him the whole time, right? Go ahead.
They asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
Why wouldn't they say the whole world? Why would they not say the whole world? Because the kingdom was promised to who?
To Israel.
To the Israelites. So once again, why don't they want you to know this? Because it's empowering to the black man, the Mexican man, the Puerto Rican man to know you're not niggas, spigs, spooks, wetbags, horse monkeys, jungle bunnies, water beetles. What else? Huh? Right. But they call them Bubba or boys, right? You know what I mean? We're not that. We're actually the next kings and priests that will rule the earth. So now you're empowering the people to come out of religion and unite as one people. And they don't want that. They want to keep this one world, Nimrod, Babylon the Great. We're all American. We're all one. No, we're all one in order. And the order is this. The children of Israel will be set up above all nations. Go to Deuteronomy 32, verse 8. And then we're going to jump back. You see how I'm going to the Old and the New Testament for you, sis? It's very important. So we're going to go back and then jump back into Matthew 2, right? A Prince of the Savior. Give me that one. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 2 and verse 8.
Yeah.
When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance.
Right. So God did what?
Divided to the nations their inheritance.
But we all bleed the same blood. Isn't that what they yell at us? We all bleed the same blood. You're just like me.
Divided to the nations their inheritance.
Go ahead.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
When he did what?
Separated the sons of
Yeah,
Adam.
if you know anything about the Bible, the sons of Adam were even separate. Man, Cain and Abel were separate. From the beginning, it was separate. The righteous and the wicked were separate. The chosen and the ones that weren't chosen were separate. All the way from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He said it. He said, I chose Abraham out of Mesopotamia. Right. He chose Isaac and he didn't choose Ishmael. That's separation right there, all the way through the Bible. Right? Then he said, I chose Jacob, not Esau. Separation again. Right? So this religion lie. Now, this doesn't mean I have to go around hate mongering. It just means the facts. It just means the facts. The facts are this. The children of Israel were set up above all nations. Right. Read on.
He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
That's why when we came out of Egypt, the Most High said, okay, Joshua, I want you to go into the land of Canaan, and I want you to take it. These guys went over there, they parked over there in this lot. And that ain't their land. So you got all these you got all the Canaanites, Jebusites, Gergesites, all them setting up in Canaan, right? And what God said? Go pass out flowers to them and show them Jesus' love. Because Jesus is love. No, the God of the Bible said go murder, slaughter them because they parked in the wrong spot. Then he goes and say, hey, listen, guys, we're finding out that God didn't really give you this land. So we need y'all to move out. They didn't do that. They went over there, men's of war, men's. They went over there as men's of war, and they went and slaughtered those nations. You understand? So you see how we're getting, when you read and bring your mind back to these stories, the Bible says one thing, religion has told us another thing. You see that? So this was the importance of the children of Israel. We're still going to go back to the New Testament, though. I'm just jumping back and forth to show you that from the old to the new, nothing has changed. This is why it says in Hebrews 10, verse 7, but lo, I come through the volume of the book.
Right.
This is why it says that. In Psalms, it's in Psalms too. I'm quoting. Hebrews 10 and 7 is quoting from Psalms. I got to get that one. But it's from the old to the new. Nothing changed. Because God promised it. Okay? All right. So I know I'm moving fast here. All right? Because we're going to get this question out of the way. And then we're going to move on to the next question. But stop me if you have anything. All right? If you have any questions. You know what I mean? Feel free to ask anything. We're not going to feel bad, threatened if you ask something that is a so-called you might think against. We've heard it all. It doesn't matter. Okay? Right. Psalms 40 and what? Right. Hebrews 10 and 7 and Psalms 40 and 7 is where he said, lo, I come through the volume of the book. So from the Old to the New Testament, it doesn't change. The thing is that a lot of people pick and choose of what to reveal and what not to reveal out of the Bible. And therefore, it can look a certain way. So, like, what we're doing now is we're putting all the scriptures that you haven't been shown. Like, you've been shown Jesus loves, Jesus forgives, Jesus gives grace, right? But you haven't been shown how Jesus kills. That the Most High God kills, and he sent his chosen nation, and he chose them above. You haven't read those parts.
Right.
And all entirely, because Jesus does love, he did give you grace, he does want you to have faith. That is there too. We don't deny that, but they denied the other part. Okay? So read where you're at.
This is Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
And thou, Bethlehem,
And thou, Bethlehem,
and the land of Judah, art not the least among princes of Judah.
right?
For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel.
Wait, no, rule my world. Rule the world. Come on now.
Rule my people Israel.
Right. I'm just trying to say, are we tripping? Are we tripping? The Jesus of the Bible didn't say he came for everybody. When he died, what was over his superscription? What? King of the Jews. Right, because that's what he came for. Now, he is the King of Kings. We know that. Well, why was he known as the King of the Jews? Because he was a Jew and he was sent to save his people. You understand? All right, we're going to go there, but read on in that.
Come. Verse 7. Then Herod, when he had...
Right. So, read that, repeat that.
Come. This is Matthew chapter 2 and verse 6. And thou, Bethlehem, and the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah.
Mm-hmm.
For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel.
Right, that shall rule my people Israel. Right? So go to Matthew 1:21.
Come on, this is Matthew chapter 1, verse 21.
Uh-huh.
And she shall bring forth a son.
Right.
And thou shalt call his name Jesus.
Uh-huh.
For he shall save his people.
With what?
His people.
Anybody know what a possessive pronoun is? His people, Israel, go ahead.
From their sins.
Why didn't it say everybody? See, these are the scriptures they're not showing you, and they can't just go away. He came, and it was important to know that he came to die for them because they were the ones under the contracts, not the whole world. When Moses gave that contract to them on Mount Sinai, okay, the Israelites were there, not everybody. Okay? Then he said, yes, when he died and resurrected, now everybody got to be accountable. Go to all nations. And all nations are getting it now. They're getting the word. Because every Hebrew Israelite that's teaching the truth and teaching you're the chosen people of God, they're on YouTube, and all these nations are hearing this word.
Right.
All the nations are hearing that you're the chosen. And a lot of these white people, a lot of the other nations are teaching that the so-called black man and Hispanic man are the chosen people of God.
Right.
And the Most High is going to have a place for them in the kingdom. Well, that's a whole different topic. But right now, the point is this: you are the chosen people, right? Okay, so this is why we went to the old to the new. Children of Israel. Well, I'm a black man. How do you know I'm a child of Israel? Let's go back to Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
You good? Okay, so how do we know we're the children of Israel? Because great, we know the children of Israel are the chosen, but how do you know the black and Hispanics, Negroes, Mexicans, the monkeys, the wetbacks, the coons, the border jumpers, right, the spooks, how do you know they're? Because the white people are laughing at us now. You niggas should never be the chosen people of God. You're dirty, right? They're laughing at us and saying that. Well, how do you know? How do you know that you're the chosen people of God? Let's go to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. We're going to read the first verse.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1.
Did we have any other questions? Because I'm going to just touch on this real quick, and then we're going to go into the other questions. Okay, read that. Deuteronomy 28, verse 1.
Deuteronomy 28 and 1.
Uh-huh.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So this is what Moses... I'm going to actually jump and say it, but go ahead and read on. Let's read what it says. Go ahead.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set
You're supposed to go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 1.
Come on. That's right.
You're not in, where are you at?
Deuteronomy 28 and 1. You want me to go to 1 and
15. There you go, 1 and 1.
1? That's right.
1 and 1. I'm sorry, 1 and 1, my bad. Deuteronomy 1 and 1 first. That way we can get in context of what's going on here. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1.
Then we'll jump to 28 and 1.
These be the words which Moses spoke unto all Israel.
Baptist?
All Israel.
Pentecostal?
All Israel.
Jehovah's Witness. You know why I keep doing that, sis? Because it's not there.
Right.
It's not there. That's why I keep doing that. Because you're never going to read in the Bible where John the Baptist started a Baptist church.
Right.
You're never going to read where Peter said, listen, I'm going to start the first Roman Catholic church and rape little boys. You're not going to read that. You're not going to read on the day of Pentecost, they came and said, you know what, we should start the Pentecostal church. They didn't do that. You understand? That's all man-made. Not only did the name, I'm talking about Pentecost. They took that name and then they mixed it with a religious concept, right? That's not there, right? Go ahead.
These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Right, so you see that, right? To all the Israelites. Go ahead.
On this side Jordan in the wilderness. In the plain over against the Red Sea.
Everybody wasn't there. Yes, there was a mixed multitude, but majority of those people who were there were the Israelites, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay? So go to Deuteronomy 28, verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Right?
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Right. So he's talking to all the Israelites, and one of the main points he says, if you will not listen, right? Now, you ready for the story of Kunta Kinte? This is what we're finna read about. But his name is not Kunta Kinte. His name is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. It's the 12 tribes. It's you. You understand? So if you want to know where they got the script from roots from, they got it from Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. Okay? Give me that. Tahawon put it yesterday too. The one about the bastards, the Jews. The lifetime. The timeline. Somebody get that. Go ahead and read on that.
Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass.
It's right up here. It's up here. Go ahead.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If we will do what?
Not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So everybody wants to know how the Israelites proclaim that the Negroes and the Mexicans are the Israelites. Well, we go to the curses. We go to these curses that were on these specific people, this nation. And then we do a process of elimination through historical evidence. You understand? What nation went through all these signs? Right? Jump to verse 47.
Verse 47.
Uh-huh.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Right, because we're going to find out we didn't serve God with what?
Joyfulness.
You know, and that's typical today. When you find out you're not supposed to eat pork, a lot of people get their hearts, they feelings hurt.
Right.
You're not supposed to eat crab, shrimp, lobster. You got to wear your fringes. You got to keep the Sabbath. A lot of people are like, well, with the Christian group, I don't have to do that. All I got to do is get baptized, and then I'm saved. Right? Like, you guys are, that's too much here. I'm going to go back to the church down the block, get baptized, and then I'll be saved. You know what I mean? Because that's what the Christianity teach. We know that baptism was just symbolism. Okay? Go ahead.
And with gladness of heart.
With what?
With gladness of heart.
Right. So you see that? We didn't listen to the law, statutes, commandments, and we weren't joyful and we weren't glad when it came to these laws. Go ahead.
For the abundance of all things.
Meaning for everything. When we were supposed to, food, clothes, any blessings, we're supposed to go to the Most High and be blessed by keeping the laws. But we don't do that anymore. Go ahead.
Therefore, shalt thou serve thine enemies.
That we were going to do what?
Serve thine enemies.
Right. So we were going to serve our enemies. So we're going to find out. Go back to verse 15. We're going to jump back here. I'm just jumping around. You can go home and read the whole chapter. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments,
right,
and his statutes.
So if we wouldn't listen, this is what would happen. Go ahead.
Which I command thee this day.
Go ahead.
That all these curses shall come upon thee.
Yeah.
And overtake thee.
Right.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
So anywhere we go through any cities throughout the world, who's the cursed people? Who's the ones in the ghettos and the slums? Go to Europe. Go to England.
Right.
Right? Go to England. Go to Spain. Go to, these other countries. Who is it? Who's in the ghettos and the slums? Niggas. You just a Spanish-speaking nigga over there. Right? Even when you go to Ecuador or Guatemala, a lot of people are like, well, they ain't Israelites because they got their own land. Man, those are Spaniards running their land. Right. And the darker you are, you're in the ghettos and the slums. Yeah, the Cubans. Yeah, I mean, look at them. They're a country? Come on, man. Look how destroyed they are. They're of our nation, but we're destroyed. And the darker you are, the more hated you are for your skin. That's why the white man, through conquest, through destructions, guess what? Through the disobedience of us, we were whitewashed. You see that? Okay, but remember, how did this happen? How did it happen, sis? Who knows?
We didn't listen.
We what?
We didn't listen.
We didn't listen.
We didn't follow the commandments.
We didn't follow the commandments. Go ahead.
Cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Cursed shalt thou be what?
In the field.
In the what?
In the field.
Anywhere we go in the field, which represents the world, we were cursed. You go to Europe, you're a nigga. Spain, nigga. You know what I mean? Or Spanish-speaking nigga. Or that new movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, they call the Native Americans tree niggas. Right? And you know what happens with Django. Nigga, all day, right? Right. And you're none of that. All nigga means is a Latin word that means negro, negrito, means black.
Right.
And you're not black. You're chocolate. You're chocolate. You're caramel, butterscotch, pecan, right? But you're not black. You know what I mean? Nobody's, I mean, you can get brothers dark, but they still like the brother right here, Tommy. Like, look at his shirt. You look at Tommy's shirt and then look at him. He still ain't that color. Yeah, he's still dark chocolate, but he ain't that color. He ain't black. So black is just a derogatory way to call you nasty, ugly, filthy, dirty. And what other nation on earth is described by a color? Don't say the white people because they got a nation, America. Yeah, they got a great history. We have Europe, we have Rome, we have Alexander the Great, the horse banger. You know what I mean? Socrates, which was black. Beethoven, black. They stole everybody that was black. They took it, right? But you're nobody. The aliens had to build the pyramids besides niggas, because niggas can't build pyramids. That would be too smart. Not with laser precision. Not no tree monkey. You can't do it. You understand? There's no way in hell. So they stripped us of our history. Why? Because we were disobedient to the Most High, and He promised it. So, we're not the angry, we're not going to run around. We know the white man's the devil. He's been evil. He's been a naughty, naughty little birdie. He's been a dirty birdie, like it says in Revelations 18. They're dirty birds, right? But it's not his fault. Ha-ha. It's your fault. He was just doing his job. You know what I mean? He was just being who he was. It's your fault. It's our fault. And that's what we got to get right. Right? What do we got? We got a question on this?
No, that's just other questions.
Other question. I'm gonna get done with this. I'm not gonna go over the whole Deuteronomy 28 part. I'm just gonna touch on a few scriptures, then we'll go into it. Go ahead.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
Yeah. Okay, it said, cursed shall be thy what?
Thy basket and thy store.
Now, your basket and your store was your fruits, your income, because you were working on fields. You were sheep herders. That's what bring us finances. But today, do we have black bank? Huh?
Nope.
Where's the Black United Black Bank? Where you go to Chinatown? Yeah, you got a Chinatown. You even got a damn dirty African town, right? Right?
God.
Let me stop because we got a lot of our people mixed up with them too, right? But you got them down there, right? Where's the black man? Oh, the ghettos. The ghettos. Oh, I get it. Nah, man, we are cursed. Go ahead.
Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body.
Right. Now, the fruit of your body is your what?
Kids.
Like I said, I'm not going to go over the whole chapter. You're going to go over it when you get home. Your kids. Ask yourself this. The white men that are calling themselves the Jews, are their kids walking around with their pants sagging? Are their 12-year-old daughters walking around with gym tights showing the insides of their esophagus? Or is that black and Hispanic kids on YouTube that are jumping each other and beating each other up like dogs? I mean, I look at the Jewish communities, I'm looking at the people that got it together. They wives, their heads covered, they got dresses on, they in order. You don't see them talking out their neck to their husband. You know what I mean, right? Who do you see that with? Blacks and Hispanics, the Israelites. So I don't care what anybody tried to say, but the evidence speaks for itself. Who are the cursed people? Just go through history. So when you go, if you go online and go fit these curses against the Caucasians, these white people that are calling themselves Jews, and the so-called Negroes, you'll start to see, wait a minute, these curses fit a nation. Africans still have Africa. You know what I mean? And a lot of people will tell you that what they're showing on the news about Africa is not even true. Like they're showing the bad parts, but Africa's nice, right? They still got a land. The black man don't. The Israelite man don't. And if you're in a land like Mexico is ran by Spaniards or by America still, and Mexico, is that really a land or a slaughtering ground? Is that a land or a slaughtering ground? So none of us are blessed, because we get that too. There's when you had a lot of people saying, well, the Puerto Ricans got Puerto Rico. The Spanish own Puerto Rico, man. America owns Puerto Rico. What are you talking about? They're not under the curses. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. A lot of them over there, and that's why a lot of our people, they want to be the white. They want to be white. Oh, I'm not black. I'm Hispanic.
Move over. I'm American.
Right. Or what's the other little dyke that Raven Simone? Yeah. That's the epitome of Babylon, though. That's what Nimrod built. It was about, let us all be in one mind. Let us all come up under this we are God's type of mentality. So this is how we know, historically, when you look at the historical facts and biblical facts, you find out who the Israelites are. Okay, go ahead.
Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out.
So when we come into the world, we're cursed. When we go out, you understand? When we walk out the front door, you're cursed. You know what I mean? When you come in, you curse. Why? Because you coming home to kick your legs up, and the white man put in your woman's mind, and the black woman's mind, and the Hispanic woman's mind, you independent. So there's no peace in your home. Right? Kids are divided up. They can divorce you. They can separate from you. They don't have to listen to you. Why? Because Snoop Dogg and Rihanna got their brain. You know what I mean? Or Chief Keef. Right. That guy needs to be burnt alive.
No shoe wearing joint.
Yeah, he's not even making music. Not saying that anybody else was, but you see that these are the curses that came out of nation. You know, that you say, well, what about Will Smith and Oprah? That doesn't define us as a nation. Majority of the black man and the Mexican man, I mean, for God's sake, statistic-wise, America has 1% rich in it. So you should already know if 1% is rich, then 1% of that is black and Hispanic. If there's 1%, you see what I'm saying? So this is talking about still us as a nation. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 20. And the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all that thou settest thine hand unto for to do.
Right, and to everything we set our hand to do, we're cursed. That's why when we try to come together as a nation, even the Israelites, when you look at the Israelite schools through the four corners of there, we try to come together, what happens? The white man put moles. He puts a stiff-necked, hard-headed brother up there that doesn't want unity, doesn't want love. He wants to be the king. Everything we put our hand to, what happens? It's broken down. Why? Because if it's not going to be of Christ, if it's not going to be of the love of Christ, it ain't going to work. Go ahead.
Until thou be destroyed.
Until what?
Until thou be destroyed.
Right. Well, let's go back. Who they say the Jews are? The so-called white people walking around with black hats and black robes, right? Are they the destroyed people?
Wow.
Or do they own a lot of the world's wealth? All the Zuckerbergs and no, that's the Seinfelds, right? That own Hollywood, right? The Rothschilds, right? That's all Jews, man. That's what I said. When you look at people try to equate the fake Jews to the Bible. Like, the true Jews weren't greedy. These white people that stole your nationality, they're filthy greedy. Yeah, like when you hear of Jews and their greed and it's like you equate that to the true Jews. That ain't got nothing to do. The true Jews, man, were giving themselves to the body, to the church, to the people. Okay, the true believers. This is a book right here, and I won't put this yesterday, but it's from Time Life, and it's something in here that Hitler knew. Hitler knew that these people that were calling themselves Jews, they were not the true Jews. And when you go to this page, on page 132, this is called Time Life. It's from Time Life, and it's the Nazis, World War II. And when you go to 132, it says here in the segment of the Nazi instructional film, the generic history of the Jew is purportedly traced to the Orient. And he's talking about Asia Minor. He's talking about going back to where all black people came from. He's saying that they come from there. It says Negro, near Asia, and it says here Anahamitic people. Now, that's where he got wrong. See, Hitler knew the true Jews were black, but he thought they were African, right? He said, hence the film concludes the Jew is a bastard. And this is what he said here. He said, these are the true Jews. He said right here, because he knew the Jews were black, but what he didn't understand was that we were not Hamitic. But he says these right here are the bastards. Okay? And this what the thing was, he said, if these Jews, if you want to be the Jew, then you got to be black like them, and he burnt them. That's why they got burnt in those ovens. And that's a lot of history that a lot of people don't understand about Hitler. He was smart. He knew a lot of history, right? That's why he got a lot of those books. A lot of them, they said he burnt up. A lot of them he kept. A lot of history he kept. There was a movie with there was a movie with the dude. What's his name? I'm gonna say the old white guy,
Inglourious Basterds? No.
that one. But there's another one where they go take down Hitler, and they're getting all the pictures.
It's
They sold the artwork that he sold?
Yeah, all the artwork. You don't know what I'm talking. I gotta get the name of the dang movie. But anyway, in the movie, we gotta get the name. We'll get it before class is over. In that movie, they show all the archaeology, all the books that Hitler stole that they said he burned. What?
Monument Man.
The Monument Man. I told you we would get it. But in there, it shows that Hitler, he was smart. He didn't just burn every book up. He kept a lot of these things because it was artifacts in history that showed the Madonna being black. It showed that the angels were black. A lot of history that they still got over there in Europe now, that when the Pope prays to, if you go online, he prays to a black Madonna. But over here in America, to keep the Negroes down, you have to pray to white Jesus. Right? Jesus. All right, so let's finish this up. Go to 47.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 47.
Right.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness.
Where's that slave ship sign? Go ahead.
And with gladness of heart.
Right, and we did serve him with joyfulness and gladness of heart. Go ahead.
For the abundance of all things.
In everything. Go ahead.
Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies.
We were going to serve our friends.
Our enemies.
We're over here in America to be rappers and to get a white picket fence, a house, and a dog to sit here in America to enjoy our time.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Wait a minute, but a job is good, bro.
Serve thine enemies.
Why are we over here in America? Because to chill out?
To serve thine enemies.
America was a place for captivity and slavery, for servitude. America is going to be destroyed. Okay? I keep bumping into people. I bumped into this white guy the other day, and he was trying to say Babylon's not America. It was Iran. Like, dude, Iran doesn't promote homosexuality and transvestites. One thing that is said when it spoke about Babylon was that they were going to be known as Sodom and Egypt. Right? So give me that sign right there. Go ahead, read on.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
Right?
In hunger and in thirst.
Right. So when you're hungry, could you grow your own food?
Wow.
You probably can, and then what happens? You got to pay the tax man. Then what they did is they patent certain seeds. So you can't use certain seeds anymore. Did y'all know that? That when you're a farmer, they patent certain seeds. So now you have to buy the seeds from them. Anything you got. So you think you're running around, you're like this health conscious, you're going to build your own community, your own land. Go and try to build a compound. What did they do to David Koresh? Burned them down, murdered them in there. What are they doing with these other people over there in, where is it right now? They got the, they went up in there with guns recently. Oregon, the people in Oregon. You know why they're angry and why they went over and took over that federal building, right? Because they're having to pay land tax. And they're having to pay things that they feel they don't have to pay. That it's their land. They were saying that they were burning on their land, and they were like, you can't do that. They were like, it's our land. We can do whatever we want to do on our land. Psych. Stop it. You ain't going to do nothing here in America. Nothing without the white man saying it's okay. You want to get a marriage license? A homosexual pastor priest got to say, okay, you did it. Or you got to go to the county clerk, and he got to say, now you're married because I said so. So now you got the white man, you got the black man, you got the Mexican man, you got the Israelite man, going to everybody else to get the okay to say you're married. What about God? He said you were married when you laid with that woman. Right? See, everything we want, car, you want to drive that car, what do you got to get? Driver's license. You got to get insurance. You got to get a registration. But I'm a free man on land. Yeah, whatever. Go ahead and pull that out. You're the free man on land. What are they called again? No, the Moors. You got the Moors. No, not the Amish.
They've already. It's like they've.
They're kind of trying to emancipate themselves from America. What are they called again? They're like the Moors, but they're Americanized. Right. They use what the Moors do, which is try to sovereignty. There you go. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words. Yeah, the sovereigns. I don't know if you know about that, but these sovereign people, they go around and they try to live off of this. The land is free. You don't have to. I don't have to stop by any checkpoints. I don't have to get a driver's license. I don't have to have insurance. I'm a free man on land. Whatever. Get pulled over and beat out a black man and try to pull that. You get away with it if you're not black. That's what I was telling this white guy today. The other day, he was at my kid's karate. We just started talking. He was like, he pulled out his sovereign papers. It was like, this is what I give him. And I'm like, right, because you're not black. I was like, let a black man pull out some sovereign papers talking about you don't need a driver's license. You don't need to, stuff your teeth into the curb. Yeah, they're like, they don't believe that. You can have that all you want on you and feel like you're independent from America, but God put you here because you disobeyed the commandments of God and you were a disgruntled employee and the Most High cursed you. Go ahead, read on, and then we're going to go ahead.
Hunger and in thirst.
In what?
In hunger.
So we want water. We want food. Go ahead.
And in nakedness.
And in what?
And in nakedness.
Right. Where are we at?
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 48.
We're in what Bible are we reading out of?
King James Bible.
We're reading out of the King James Bible. And what? Where are we at?
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48.
All right, you with us, sis? Go ahead.
And in the want of all things.
And in what?
And in want of all things.
Right, so everything we want, we will have to go to another nation. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed you.
Yeah, where's those signs at? So this is where the curses, this is where the black man was cursed. And this is where slavery comes from. Okay? This is how we know that the Israelites are the true people of God. The blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, the ones that were raped, robbed, murdered, castrated, pillaged, hanged on trees, and burnt alive. All the way up to 2016, they still hate your skin. Your skin is your sin, according to America. And they teach their kids that. It's embedded in the blood of America. And if I get a chance, that's what we're going to talk about on our topic tonight. But go to 28, verse 68, and let's finish on this statement.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt with ships.
Right. So one of the main points in the Bible that we know who the Israelites are is that one of the curses of the Israelites is said he was going to bring us into Egypt. Now, Egypt, this word comes from Mizraim, okay, which means shut in, hold back, restraint, okay? When you look at Egypt and Israel, you can walk into it. We walked into Egypt, okay? You don't need a ship. Well, this shut in, restraint, this captivity we were going to go to, it was going to be with ships. Historically, that never happened. Biblically, when you read biblically, it never happened. We never went into Egypt again with ships. But historically, we know 8 people in history, 1 people, went into captivity and slavery on ships. I'm not talking about indentured servants that came over to America to work. The Irish, some of the Chinese, I'm not talking about them because they're going to say, well, history, a lot of people came over to other nations on ships, but not as slaves. Right? And not on these other points that we're going to bring out. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
So he said, where I'm telling you this, go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
So you have to ask yourself, when is the last time that the black man said, let me go back to Jerusalem? They think they're from Africa, right? Now, this curse said that we weren't going to see it. Well, then who are those Jews over there in their land, over in our land, fighting over our land? If we weren't going to see it, then why are they over there seeing it? Because they don't fit, they do not fit the curses or the prophecies of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter.
Right.
Period, point blank. Read. Come on.
Ye shall be sold.
And there we were going to be what?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemy.
Right. So, if we look at this one verse, we have to ask ourselves, through the process of checking off in history, what nation went over to another nation on ships, sold as slaves? Go ahead.
For bondmen.
As slave men, and go ahead.
And bondwomen.
Right. We know one nation, the so-called Negroes from Africa, was shipped over here to America, sold as slave men and slave women. A lot of y'all brothers should be able to break this down like the back of your hand. Right, Rian? Come on up here. Come and break it down for me. I'm just messing with you. I'm just joking. Right? So, I mean, as many as times we go over this stuff. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall what?
Shall buy you.
Right. Buy is an old Quaker word that means to save or redeem. So he was saying that no man was going to save us. No man was going to deliver us out of this condition. Right? So I'm not going to do it. You're not going to do it. Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Ferry Can, they're not going to do it. John's not going to do it. What's going to get us out of this condition is coming back to who we are, right? Because the whole world waited on the manifestations of the sons of God. Okay? So those are just some pointers. I mean, we could go the whole class with this, but I wanted to give you Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, so you can go back in there and read. All right? Did you have any questions on that? You sure?
Later.
Okay, all right. Well, if you do, then ask. What do we got?
What's your opinion on out-of-body experiences? Are they good or bad?
Outer body experiences. Well, if you're doing it through drugs, then you don't need to be doing that. You know, EMT, what is it? DMT. You're trying to take mushrooms, THC. You're talking about, I'm going all the way out, bro. I'm going out there. Yeah, and you got to get your chakras. You got to get your anal cavity pushed in to reach the DMT module. That, you know, now, so that's all out the picture because biblically we know that we're not supposed to do drugs. We're not supposed to destroy our body, okay? Now, out of body experience, how many of you were asleep and you felt yourself come out yourself? I've had that many of times. No? Raise your hand. Okay, well, majority. You know what I mean? Like, you've ever been asleep and you don't have to die, but you actually just fall into a deep trance sleep into where you come outside yourself? I mean, it's happening to me. It's happened to me. It's happened to everybody around us, majority, right? So it happens. It definitely happens. I mean, does the scriptures go into the literal context of outer body experience? You know, the only time when Paul said, and this was because he was blinded. He said, whether out of the body or in the body, I don't know, because he was blinded and he didn't see Christ. But otherwise, it doesn't really go into it. So scripturally, I can't go to no scriptures to show you, yeah, this is what it was. But we know it's possible. We know that it happens. And if I miss something, then I'll come back with scriptures to show you on it. You know, but well, that was the question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Shalom from the Netherlands. The question.
From the Netherlands.
The testimony contract was between God and Israel. Contracts are only between two parties. When and how was Jesus a third written in the contract?
He was written in the contract because we didn't obey the contract. Go to Jeremiah 31. I'm going to the Old Testament to show you that we didn't obey the contract. Right? So what happened was, the Most High is a God that he should not lie. So he, give me that one too. The one I just quoted. Okay? And then, but go to Jeremiah 30, I think it's 31, right? Let's get here. Because the contracts are definitely between two parties.
Is the one about the moderator?
But I want you to go to Jeremiah 31, and we're going to read from the 31st verse.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 31.
Here Texas. Go ahead.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant.
A what?
A new covenant.
A what?
A new covenant.
Well, what happened to the old? Well, the niggas messed that up. We messed that up. We disobeyed. The covenant and the contract was what we just read in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And everybody read it. We said, amen. That means we signed on the dotted line. Or so be it. We signed on the dotted line. But we disobeyed that. So Jeremiah is coming up and telling us, I will make a new covenant. Why? Because you did away, you messed up the old one. Go ahead.
I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel.
Right.
And with the house of Judah.
Right.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day.
Yeah, we messed that up. So there had to be a new contract. Go ahead.
That I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Which my covenant they break.
Right.
Although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord.
Right. So we broke that contract. Go ahead.
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord.
Right.
I will put my law in their inward parts.
Right.
And write it in their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Right.
And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor.
Right. So the reason I went there is to show, one, is establishing that there will be a new covenant. Now, we'll go to YouTube and send you one of our classes showing you Christ in the Old Testament, because I'm not going to go over all those scriptures we already went over. Okay, because that topic of Christ, because I think what he's asking, or she's asking a little more in depth, is where's Christ being that one sent to fulfill that old contract. Because Christ was prophesied to come. Because we didn't follow this contract. So he had to make a new contract. And he had to send his son. Give me I will make a new one. The one in Micah, the one I asked for. No, anybody here with me? What I asked for? Yeah, you can get that one, but it's in Micah is the one I'm asking for. Go ahead. Where's that at?
This one is in Numbers 23 and 19.
Go to Numbers 23, verse 19.
Numbers chapter 23 and verse 19.
Mm-hmm.
God is not a man that he should lie.
Right.
Neither the son of man that he should repent.
Right.
Hath he said, and shall he not do it? Or hath he spoken, and shall he not make it good?
Right. So the thing is that the Most High made the promise, and all these promises must come to pass. So the promise was that Israel would be set up above all nations, and he would choose us above all nations. Okay? So we disobeyed that. We messed that up, so he had to make the new contract. Okay? Who fulfilled that? Well, the new stipulations. Okay? What?
A comment concerning the contract stipulation of contracting parties, especially since we're not to worship any other than the Most High.
Okay, we're going to send her to class because I know where this is going. We'll send her to class, Christ in the Old Testament. She can look at that and get all those scriptures, okay? That way we can answer. You know, certain questions that we already went over, we kind of beat. It's on there. We got that. We got that log to where we go over all the scriptures. So Christ being in the Old Testament is all through the scriptures. And first of all, when you understand the Bible, and 'cause when you understand everything you're reading, you're reading the Son of the Most High.
Right.
When it says, and the Lord, it's talking about the Creator. And talking about Christ. Right. He created you.
Right.
The Most High, He's running things. He's giving the orders out. So a lot of these times where you see it says, and the Lord said, God ain't get off His throne and His majesty and His power to go like the word that Donald Trump use all the time, micromanage. And he doesn't come down and micromanage. He has angels to do that. And one of His main ones was His Son, which was known as Christ. Right. And when you go to Psalms 110, when you go to Isaiah, when you go to all these prophecies, you find out that when you go to Daniel's, the Son of God was known about. When you go to the Apocrypha, it was known the Son of God. It was known from the beginning that the Creator had a Son. Okay? So like I said, we've touched over this so many times that we'll send you the video on that, and then you can get those scriptures on that. Okay? All right, because we already know where this is going. We know a lot of people are teaching that Christ ain't in the Old Testament, that they don't believe in the Son of God. But listen, here, if you're going to look at us, we believe in Christ, we believe in the New Testament, and we believe all the scriptures of Him being prophesied in the Old Testament to the New Testament. Okay? So we have all those scriptures for you. Okay, what's the next question? All right, that's it? What's that?
No, I'm gonna say just like we just read in Numbers. It said God is not a man that He should lie, neither the Son of Man. He's been mentioned in the scriptures multiple times.
Right.
So that's in Numbers.
Right.
That ain't Matthews.
Right. So yeah, like I said, when you go to Daniel's, it tells you Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right? When they were in the fire, they said, hold on, wasn't there not 3 people in there? Behold, we see 4, and one is the Son of God. That's in the Old Testament. Okay? When you go to your Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra in the Bible, okay, you find out, it says when Ezra was given his vision, it says, and behold, I see the Son of God. He was the one on the top of the mountain. That's in the Old Testament. I'll find it for you. It's 2nd Ezra. Or one of these aspiring officers, armor bearers, as swift as they are like ninjas, are already getting it for you. All right, so.
And then also in Genesis 49 and verse 10, where it talks about Shiloh, we know that's Christ.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I was just trying to give them ones that straight to the point that, you know, because our people, man, they need to see Son of God in there. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you're not going to see Jesus, because that's English.
Right.
You're not going to see Jesus. That's English. That's Spanish. You're not going to read that. Remember that that's not going to be there. You will see the anointed, which is Mashiach in Hebrew. So you will read that in Hebrew. So don't look for Jesus. That ain't going to be there. We know that's Greek. That's English. That ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. Okay? We say and we call his name Jesus or Christ for the lack of people knowing who the Mashiach is, the anointed. Right? They don't know. You know, if we speak Hebrew, you won't know about who he is. Or Yahweh Shai, which is he who saves. Okay. All right. So does anybody have any other questions? It says you had anything on that? All right. I know sometimes we can move at lightning speed here. But, yeah, if you brothers and sisters want to contact, listen, let me say this. If y'all online and you guys are watching, which we know a lot of you brothers and sisters have been supporting us in that way, watching, coming on, getting a lot of these classes, let these brothers and sisters in the comments ask their questions in class and kind of like let them listen to the class. Because if you guys are just talking through the comments, they're not going to get class. You know what I mean? So, just, you know what I mean? Y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do, but that's just a suggestion. You know what I mean? So, does anybody have any other questions here? Live? Live? Okay. All right. So we're gonna go into tonight's class then. We're gonna, yeah. Oh, what we're gonna do, brothers and sisters, all you brothers and sisters online, stay tuned in. We're gonna start separating our class from our questions. So we're gonna cut off for a second, and then we're gonna come right back on so we can start a whole new show. That way, when you go to YouTube, you'll be able to go to the questions if you want to get those questions, and then you'll go straight to the class if you want to get those class. So give us a few minutes, okay? And we're gonna be right back online, and then we're gonna go into our class. So shalom.
Shalom.
Stay tuned.